Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO set review from BrickByBrick, and today we have Misfortune's Keep, 754 pieces, and it is set number 70605. And it retails for $79.99. I did get it on clearance for $39.99, so 50% off. But if you take a look at this, we get the big Misfortune's Keep itself, plus this side build for Lloyd, this smaller thing, and a couple figures. So let's get into the smaller builds first. Alright, so for the ninja in this set, all we get is this little jetpack thing. And this jetpack thing does not appear in the shell whatsoever, and it also doesn't really stand up. It is massive though, like extremely massive. So massive that Lloyd is kind of like, he could sit on top if he wanted to. And it probably would have made more sense to make it like a jet and have him sit on top. But, I mean, it looks alright. If we look at the top, it does have one sticker, which is kind of a nice looking sticker. But it's a mix between dark green and a little bit of light green accents, and a lot of black and ugly from the bottom. But, I like these pieces here. I like the wings, kinda. They look alright. But, you can move these out like that, or you can put them in there to kind of like strap Lloyd in or whatever. And, I mean, it looks fine either way. I mean, Lloyd is just clipped on the front, and he really can't stand. But this does have one, play feature, which I feel actually really just completely redeems this entire section of the build. It has this winch here, which works really well. Like, you can put it all the way down like that, and then pull it all the way back up. And then you can turn it either direction. It just has very little friction and works well. The point is, you can go like that, you can have one of the other ninja grab onto the hook, and then you can pull them up. Because it has a little friction, sometimes if you let go, it will start to like slowly just fall down because of gravity, because of the weight of the figure. But I find that usually it works out pretty well, and you can, fly off with the other ninja. So on the bad guy's side, there is this one little flyer kind of thing that fits perfectly onto the deck of Misfortune's Keep, and this 8x16 tile, which we'll see when we take a look at the actual ship, we'll pull that out of the way, is designed to hold this. And this is, Flintlock's little flyer. He doesn't actually, he's not the one who uses it in the show, but this, or stuff like this, appears in the actual episodes. You'll notice that I did just unfold the wings. They actually fold down so that they, can fit within that space, because the wings like this are just too wide. Like if I pull this back in, it will hit the sides. It won't be able to go all the way back. Because the point is that you'd be able to, land it like all the way back here and then drive straight through. So, back to this. It is rather simple. It has stud shooters on either side. You can shoot those off and then lose them everywhere. But it does have a pretty open cockpit area, and you just fold that up like so, and you can fit the figure on two studs in there. Pretty simple. Does get a little bit, like you have to kind of maneuver it around a bit, but it works. Stickers on the wings, they look pretty good ball out. And then this whole back section can go like that, so you can have the wings flat, or you can have the wings kind of sweeped up a bit. And it has one little wheel on the back, and a propeller. So I think, it looks good. It's built a little weird, and it's kind of fiddly putting this back section together. But overall, it's nice to, have a little side build for the pirates, especially since Misfortune's Keep is supposed to be their base, where they land the other vehicles. So it's nice to have something to, approximate landing, even if the actual Misfortune's Keep isn't, 100%. Alright, so here is the ship itself, and then just another view of what it looks like with the smaller ship on it. It is pretty large because most of it is kind of empty. Like there's this whole section here. This is all, it takes up space, but most of it is, you know, not filled in. There's a little escape boat on the back, which we can take a quick look at, and has some ammo for the disc shooters, which you'll see in a moment, as well as this turret on the back and a figure can hold on to the handles. And, you know, looks pretty cool, and it is on a rowboat, so this could be deployed into the water. But most of the time, it'll just be sitting right up in there. There. So, we'll start with the tail, because it's pretty easy. It's pretty empty. It's got the orange and then the, you know, the piracy logo stickered on. And that is on both sides. And then this back section here has a little flap which you can raise and lower. You know, maybe it's something to do with elevation. You know, elevating the thing. And looking at the engines here, they do have nice sticker details on them. There's that side, and then the stickers on this side. And the engines here, you know, can spin. They got some nice blades. And they look pretty good there. You know, nice radial kind of engine design. And then they have anchors as the wingtips, which can be, you know, they're rotated. We'll take a look at the feature that comes with those in a moment. We're just going to take a look at the design of the ship first. Up in here we have some control panels, which are stickered on. And then this is a nice look. I like how those kind of line up. Monkey wrench is just kind of hanging out on the flagpole, which this is a plastic flag, not a brick. You know, it's kind of just a sheet of plastic. And then there's more control panel stickers. And then up in here, this is the, you know, actual cockpit. And you kind of just lift it open like that. And inside, you just seat a figure down. There's some stickers, which are controls, and that's a printed tile. These are also printed tiles, and you just sit a figure on the tile, so it's pretty easy. So butt goes in there. And just the front section uses some stickers to make it look kind of old and broken. Some tires sticking out the side, which are a little weird. And then it has this skeleton, which is you know, featured in the show. However, he would be standing like that. He likes to fall because the sword's in his hand. If you pull the Technic pin, which attaches him in, out, it'll keep him kind of, you know, stuck in that position. But it will stress the pin, so, you know, it could damage it, but it's not, you know, super likely to do that immediately. Looking down at the bottom deck area, there is a lot of space there. And this is the landing platform, and there is a little sticker on there. I like the way it looks from that bottom section. But let's start to get into the play features. These platforms on the sides can come down, and then you have cannons. And that is the same on either side. I'm only going to show you one in action because they're kind of a pain to load. You kind of have to tilt the whole ship back to make sure it gets all the way in. And then you pull the little handle. And because of the, you know, the constrained area size, you can get a good shot. It just kind of, you know, takes a little bit of messing around with to get it to work well. But let's throw those back in there, the little cannons, and take a look at the other features. Underneath here, you can see, kinda, and I guess from the camera's angle you really actually can, there are disc shooters, and if you load them in, you're gonna wonder how on earth do you shoot them. Well, right here, this thing is actually a trigger mechanism, which, you know, it blends in really nicely. You just slide it on the side, and then, well, sometimes it misfires like that, but typically it'll shoot your disc out. And it works pretty well. You have enough for, you know, 2 rounds. You can do that twice with the things in there, and then you have to go grab them again. And just a view from the top. Got some good detail there. And there are these here, these little storage containers. However, if you try and open them and you're not careful, you will push them off, which you can see is a good thing because that means that they're easily, detachable storage. Oh, I'm getting my tripod caught. I had to lift the camera up there. But you can detach those if you want. And since they're oriented upwards, you can put in weapons and stuff that normally wouldn't be able to fit. But the last, big thing that this can do is with this red lever. And also, before we show that, I just want to point out that there is very little deck space. Like if you put Bucko there, that's kind of all the space there is, or over here. So there's like space for 2 members up there, 1 in the cockpit, 1 in that back boat section maybe, and then a couple on the bottom deck. But it is a bit, cramped. It's a lot smaller than it is in the show, which is my major complaint, but we'll get to that later. Meanwhile, you can, since this is a flying ship, go like that, and now you've got the propellers going upwards, and you can take off, go skybound. And that is the major play feature. I think that works well. You do have to adjust the wingtips separately though, because if you turn that's kind of the one big thing. So that is the build. It's a little, well, I'll talk more about it later. Let's take a look at the figures first. Alright, so the first minifigure included is Skybound J, and this particular version is exclusive because of the face print. If you look up there, you can see he has an eye patch on one side of his face, which looks, alright. I'm not a big fan of the mouth on that one, but if we turn it around, he has a smiling expression, which is pretty cool. And his torso print and leg print is just deep stone, and the torso print has a nice metallic shine to the front. And if we remove the Skybound shoulder armor, you can see it's also on the back, that metallic color. So that is Pirate J, one of the 3 ninja included. And the second one here is Lloyd. And this is an interesting version of Lloyd specifically because it's designed to fit with the jetpack. So it has this black shoulder armor. You can see he has his hair and his standard face, which I'm not a big fan of the face, but it is tough to remove the armor from the torso. So alright, there we go. Took a little bit of work, but there is the torso print and the back of the torso. But that most of that gets covered up by this shoulder armor piece, which I believe is exclusive in this black color. So I guess it's still kind of cool to get, but doesn't really, fit the Skybound Lloyd figure. Like it doesn't. He doesn't have this in the show at all, so it is kind of just made up. And obviously the legs are just plain old deep stone legs, like most of the Skybound ninja. Kai is the only one of the 3 ninja to not have something exclusive about him in this set. This is the, straight up standard Skybound Kai. He appears in the most sets out of any of the Skybound ninjas, so, lowest appeal of the 3. He has the deep stone mask, his standard face. He's the only ninja in the set with a mask, which is a little bit interesting. And he has the Skybound scabbard thing, standard deep stone legs, and Skybound torso, which does have some nice back printing. So, pretty cool looking outfit. This is kind of, this gives you the idea of what the Skybound suits look like. Obviously, doesn't exactly look like the other 2, because he has the mask and not the hair. But I think that, the mask is a nice look. Alright, so the first of the Sky Pirates is Flintlock. He has his Flintlock pistol, and he has the football player's helmet in green with goggles. That's his little helmet thing. And then looking up at his face, you can see he has a mustache, which is cool. Then you can turn that around to see his face print. And he does have green epaulets on, which between the mustache and the epaulets, it kind of raises his neck up quite a bit. So, you know, there's the torso print, nice scarf on there. It's all on dark red, which is unique amongst the Sky Pirates. There's his back print. And looking at his belts and hips, those are also exclusive to this character, I believe. Maybe not, actually. No, I guess they aren't, but, you know, still pretty cool. And I don't believe they're on all the... I believe that there are several different legs to the Sky Pirates. Alright, so Bucko here has the, you know, skybound Sky Pirate sword with the jagged edge and the little skull on the handle. Looking at the torso, you know, standard Sky Pirate fare. And legs, same as Flintlock's. And back of the torso, you know, it's the back of this standard Skybound Pirate torso. And the face is from the 2015 Pirates line. So, you know, and he has the, you know, newer pirate bandana too. So, pretty cool. Nice, you know, army builder, basically. Alright, the last of the figures is Nanakon, who has this Sword of Souls with Sensei Wu's power expressed, which is pretty cool. Nice printed tile, and then the gold blade is also exclusive. And looking at the actual figure, you can see he has the ghost base in a new combination of colors, transparent red and regular orange. And he has a double torso kind of thing. So if we take this off, there's the standard torso, and just some, you know, orange muscles, basically. And a hook hand, there's the back of the torso print, which you can always see. So it's a little weird that this is plain and that isn't, but not going to complain too much. And then there is some subtle printing on there to get some nice lines. Really nice job with this part for the extra 2 arms. And looking at the top, you know, you can see his face. He wears a mask in the sets. In the show, it's kind of like the mask is kind of like a scarf thing, and he kind of wears it like that. But they obviously can't do that with the parts they have. You can see his face though, which is pretty cool and pretty nice looking for the show. One thing you can do is you can turn the mask around backwards, and then it kind of looks like he has something underneath there, but it doesn't, you know, block his mouth. And then he has this cool ponytail piece, which is a rubber and doesn't stay in perfectly, but I still think it's a cool, you know, part to use. So he's probably the most, you know, anticipated figure of the set, probably the coolest. The other one probably being Jay. But there is one more little figure. And last but not least is Monkey Wrench, who is basically just a silver monkey mold, made to look like the old classic one, but it's not the old classic one, so it's kind of like an homage to that. It's a slightly updated mold though, with the facial details. And he has, you know, the 4 minifigure arms. 3 of them are orange, and 1 of them is silver. And he comes with Mjolnir because he is Thor, and you know, a rifle. So pretty cool. Looks nice. Doesn't stand up too well, so that's kind of like the major complaint, but not too bad. And it just, you know, interesting addition to the Sky. So overall, Misfortune's Keep is a pretty interesting looking set. I think it's a shame that they couldn't, you know, raise the price and piece count up to make a bigger, more, you know, faithful to the show adaptation of the ship. But I think that what you get here looks similar, obviously just a lot smaller scale. Would have been nice if you could get, you know, some of the actual larger deck features. You know, I feel like that's the biggest weakness of this set. I think just as a toy though, not including, you know, show accuracy or anything, I think it's pretty good. Obviously more deck space would have been better, but that's, you know, kind of the only real complaint. because obviously most of the actual deck space is difficult to access in there. So, you know, the figures though are all pretty good, and the set as a whole isn't awful value, because obviously it's not 10 cents per piece exactly, but you know, there are some pretty big pieces like these and the 8x16 tile, so kind of makes up for that. So overall, I'd say that this is a good set. However, I feel like if you really wanted to, you could skip it from the Skybound range. Besides Eye Patch J, that's kind of the only thing that, you know, really made me want to get this. I think it is an interesting build though. So if you guys enjoyed this review, let me know if you did, and I will see you guys all later. Bye everybody.